Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I am going to explain Jenkins Shared Libraries. Most engineers start by copying and pasting their Jenkins files into every new project they create. And you know why this matters? Because when you need to update a single security flag across 50 projects, you are suddenly looking at 50 pull requests and hours of manual work. That is exactly the problem shared libraries solve. So why is pipeline duplication such a major issue? Think about a team managing 5 microservices. Each service has a Jenkins file. When you decide to implement a new security policy or a centralized logging strategy, you have to manually edit every single one of those files. It is slow, it is boring, and eventually you will miss one. That is the maintenance nightmare that shared libraries eliminate. So what is a Jenkins shared library exactly? Imagine your Jenkins pipelines are like building blocks. Without a library, you are building every single structure from raw, custom-carved wood every time. With a shared library, you are essentially creating a set of standardized, pre-built components that any developer in your organization can snap together. You define the logic once in a central place, and then every project simply calls those predefined steps by name. Before we dive into the code, let us ensure you have the right setup. First, you need a Jenkins controller version 2.300 or later is recommended. You will need administrative access to configure global settings. Second, you need a dedicated Git repository where you will store your Groovy scripts. Finally, have your terminal ready because we are going to be interacting with Git to manage our code. If you are on Windows, Git Bash is your best friend here. If you are on Linux or Mac OS, the default terminal works perfectly. Take a moment to review each point shown on screen. So how does this work internally? At the center, you have the Jenkins controller, which acts as the brain. You configure your library repository in the Jenkins global settings. When a specific project runs a pipeline, the project Jenkinsfile reaches out to the library repository, loads the custom steps, and executes them within the controller context. This creates a single source of truth for your build, test, and deployment logic. To start using your library, you need to register it in the Jenkins interface. Navigate to Manage Jenkins, then System, and look for Global Pipeline Libraries. Give your library a meaningful name like Shared Library. Set the default version to your main branch. Finally, provide the HTTPS or SSH URL for your Git repository. Once you save this, Jenkins will automatically pull this code whenever a pipeline requests it. Now let us create our first custom step inside the vars directory of your library. We define a method named call. This method is special because it is what gets executed when you call the step by its file name. On line 3 and 4, we use the shell command to build and push our image. Notice how we use a configuration map to make the image name and tag dynamic. This makes our step reusable across every single project in your organization. Here is what the production-grade implementation looks like. At the very top, we use the library annotation to load our shared library. The underscore is critical. It tells Jenkins to load the library but not to stop the script. Inside the stage, we simply call docker build as if it were a native Jenkins command. This abstracts all the complexity of Docker commands away from your developers. They just provide the parameters and the library handles the rest. If you see this error, it means Jenkins cannot find your custom step. Why does this happen? Usually, it is because you forgot the library annotation at the top of your Jenkins file, or the method inside your Groovy file is not named call. The fix is simple. Ensure your file structure is correctly named vars or dockerbuild.groovy, and that your Jenkins file correctly imports the library name you registered in the global settings. Let me tell you about a real scenario. An e-commerce platform processing 50,000 transactions per hour was dealing with extreme pipeline fragmentation. Their developers were spending more time fixing broken Jenkins files than writing actual code. After they introduced a centralized shared library, they defined a standard deploy to production step. When they needed to add a mandatory database migration check, they just updated the library once. Every single service received the update instantly. The impact on their team velocity was massive. So, when should you actually implement this? If you have 5 or more projects that share common build stages, you absolutely need a library. It is also the best way to enforce compliance. If your auditors require a scan before any deployment, you can bake that into the library so developers cannot skip it. However, if you only have one project, do not overcomplicate your life with a library. Also, remember that shared library code is groovy, so your team needs to understand how to debug it. If they are not comfortable with that, start with simpler pipeline templates first. Use these criteria to decide if this tool is right for your situation. To recap everything we covered today, first, centralize your pipeline logic. Stop copying files. Second, use the vars directory to create steps that are easy to call. Third, always use Git tags for versions. You do not want an untested change to break every pipeline in your company. Fourth, test your library code in a sandbox before making it global. Finally, treat your library like a product document. It's so others can actually use it. Watch the full video without skipping any content to understand it better. Before we get into the topic, a small request to you. I have already uploaded many technical videos on different technologies and tools. We share more knowledgeable content every day, so if you are interested in learning and want to improve your skills, make sure you have subscribed to our channel and joined our WhatsApp community. The join link is available in the description or scan the QR code shown on the screen. Let us get started. I believe this video will definitely be a useful video. If you liked the video, please do like and hype the video. Also share it with your friends and groups. It may be useful to somebody else. If you have any doubts or any requests, please let me know in the comments. Make sure you have subscribed to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description because we share more knowledgeable content every day. Thank you for watching. See you soon in the next video.